that, are they?
Well, I mean, look, if you take it on face value, first of all, Manchester United have still got these 3 players in their squad. They don't want those 3 players in their squad. We should add Tyrell Malacia to that one as well, because there were 5 originally. Of course, Marcus Rashford has gone to Barcelona. Yeah, we take it on face value, and we believe everything Ruben Amorim is saying. If they remain at Manchester United, yes, they'll be reintegrated. They'll fight for their place in the team, which is perfect for me. The other way to look at it is they're just trying to protect their negotiating position. But you wonder whether that ship has sailed now because of what's happened in the past month or so, because it's been made clear that Manchester...
4 goals in 32 Premier League matches in the form of Rasmus Højlund. I don't think you can blame him entirely. Still a young striker finding his way. But if United can do a deal for a striker, I think most United fans probably feel they need to sign a striker in this transfer window. Though Rasmus Højlund did look quite encouraging the other night against West Ham. There is definitely a player there. The question is, do United go for the finished product in Ollie Watkins? 30 years of age, if it costs between 40 and 60 million pounds, there's no resale value there whatsoever. SEŠKO 22, still yet to hit the heights yet, but the ceiling is there. It's enormous. He's going to be one of the best strikers in Europe. Can United get him in this transfer window? They've got a number of number 10s now, haven't they? Now they've got Mbeumo and Cunha. They need someone to finish off the chances. So if they can get a striker in this transfer window, you'd think it boosts their chances of doing something good this season.
He does sound like a really exciting talent, been dubbed the next Erling Haaland as well. OK, so those are the incomings. As for outgoings at United, Luke Shaw has suggested that there are no longer any stragglers in the squad as a result of Ruben Amorim's tough approach. Well, Amorim left some big names out of the club's pre-season tour, didn't he? Alejandro Garnacho, Anthony, Jadon Sancho, and Tyrell Malacia as well. Malacia, I should say. Or they all stayed at home, while Marcus Rashford has, of course, gone on loan.
Luke Shaw there. I think he was talking about stragglers in terms of a mentality shift rather than pointing out the players who are not there right now with United on this pre-season tour, because we know there's 4 players who are training away from the first team, aren't there in the US right now. Alejandro Garnacho, Anthony, Jadon Sancho and Tyrell Malacia. Ruben Amorim suggested last week that none of the players would be sold for a cut price fee and they would be reintegrated if they're not sold. I'm not so sure that's the case. Maybe that was a negotiating strategy from Amorim. I think Garnacho is absolutely key here, because any money United make on Garnacho in this transfer window will represent pure profit, which will give them a huge amount more flexibility in this transfer window. Now, Aston Villa, they've been keen on him, but are understood to be unable to meet the asking price to buy him outright at this moment in time. Chelsea still maintaining an interest, despite the fact they signed Jamie Gittins earlier on this summer, but it remains to be seen if they act upon that. Borussia Dortmund are interested in re-signing Jadon Sancho once again. This would be the 3rd time they've signed him, but I think wages are going to be an issue here. Juventus have also held talks. Napoli may now revisit the chance to sign Jadon Sancho, having missed out on their first choice wide option. He's heading to Nottingham Forest. More on him later in the show. As for Anthony, actually I think he helped his market value somewhat at Real Betis last season. They reached the Conference League final, and Real Betis would like to bring him back, ideally this season. The issue is, I think they feel like a loan is more feasible. That's what their president has been quoted as saying. It is a case with all these players. United would love to do a permanent deal. They'd love to just get rid of these players in a polite way now because of the wages they're on, because of the amount of money that's been spent on them. If there's a permanent way of getting rid of these players, that would be ideal. If not, you'd be looking at loans with a permanent element attached to that.
Okay. I would just say, like James is explaining there, that the priority for United is to offload these players and to ideally get them on a permanent deal. And we thought that was before they could go back into the market. Now, sequence-wise, that's not necessarily the case. Manchester United, it's all about timing. If, for example, we've been talking about Benjamin SEŠKO, if that deal presents itself at some point in the next week or so, and they haven't sold any of these players before then, United will still feel that they can do that deal, but they will need some sort of assurance that somewhere along the line, some of these players are going to get sold. It doesn't have to be, well, I know you want to come now, Benjamin, but you're going to have to wait because we need to get rid of these players. It's a timing situation. It's a little bit like when Arsenal fans were complaining when they were actually signing players earlier on in this transfer window. Yes, Zubimendi's great. Yeah, Norgard, that's a good signing. But why aren't we signing a striker? Well, sometimes it's the timing. So Manchester United, ideally, yes, make the sales. to bring in. Ideally, yeah, but it doesn't necessarily have to go in that order.
Okay. Patience, Manchester United fans. Okay.